Australian-Chinese journalist Cheng Lei has reunited with her family in Australia after spending 3 years in detention in China. Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong says her government's consistent advocacy led to Chen's release. She was arrested in August of 2020 on charges of giving away state secrets and was tried in secret in March of 2022. Her arrest came during a time of diplomatic tension between Australia and China. To learn more about Cheng Lei's release, TaiwanPlus reporter Bing Wang spoke to Yaqiu from Freedom House.
Why do you think China is letting go of Cheng Lei now?
It has a lot to do with the Australian government's consistent and public advocacy for his release. So, the Australian government has been doing this for 3 years, and now she's been released. In Cheng Lei's case, I would think it's more a geopolitical issue that, at the time that Australian government called called the WHO to investigate the origin of COVID. So in her case, she's a victim of geopolitical conflict, and she's just been Australia in China at the wrong time.
According to some reports, there are over 100 journalists detained in China. Why does China frequently arrest journalists?
There are other journalists, many are Chinese, who are detained or imprisoned in China because of what they write, because they speak critically of the Chinese government. At this point, there's no press freedom in China. There's no newspaper that are free. So most of the online journalists, the ones who post on Twitter, on YouTube. One example, I would say Zhang Zhan, she's still been imprisoned for 4 years because she reported she went to Wuhan to report on the COVID at the start of the pandemic. She went there and shot some videos and posted them on YouTube and wanted to tell the world, what was going on in Wuhan, and now she's still in prison. So that's just an example. Then there are other people who say things that, the government considered critical, considered politically sensitive, and they're in prison. And there are a lot of minorities, Tibetan writers, Uyghur writers. They are, in prison or disappeared.
How will this affect Chinese-Australian relations, especially as Australia's Prime Minister Albanese is planning a visit to China?
I don't know to what extent. Probably it's related that her release is related to Albanese's pending visit to China. Maybe that's one of the conditions that were made for his visit. I do think that when she was detained, it was during a time that Australian-China relationship was at a pretty at the bottom. So she was detained for political reasons.
That was Yaqiu from Freedom House speaking to our reporter Bing Wang.